Oh, kia ora tātou. Look, as the Labour spokesperson for corrections, I've seen the very worst of what happens when we keep throwing people in prison. If we throw people in prison for low-level offences, you can almost guarantee that's a pathway just to keep going back, and it's just churn. And we rob our people of their potential. So what we have to do, instead of spending $100,000 a year locking people up for no benefit, attending drug courses that don't work. In fact, I'm told by prisoners that the only reason they attend the drug courses in prison is so they can actually mix and mingle with prisoners from other units, and they've got a better way to exchange drugs. The other place that they go in prison to exchange drugs is the church. It's because that's when all the other units come together, you know, they can mix and mingle. So prison just doesn't work, and we keep punishing people for being unwell. And we've got to stop doing that. When it was about 2-3 years ago, I was at the Avondale market, and this guy came rocking up to me and he goes, "Kelvin, I work for the Mason Clinic." I said, "Oh yeah." He goes, "Did you know that 15% of people in prison are nasty, evil bastards that we need to lock up?" I went, "Oh, is that right? Okay. You know what we need to do with the other 85%? And I thought he was going to say just line them up and shoot them all. And he goes, "We need to help them. We need to help them because they've probably got traumatic brain injuries, mental health issues, they've suffered sexual abuse, domestic abuse, drug and alcohol abuse, which is often the result of the other abuses." We've got to look at everything in its whole context, not just single out drug use. We've got to help our communities with all of these issues because people often fall onto drug use, or may fall into drug use as an escape from the other issues that they've got. I'm sick and tired. Another responsibility I have besides being the corrections spokesperson is out at Ngāti Maunu there, I'm a gravedigger. And I tend to interact with people for the same reasons. You know, their drug use and that. I go and visit them in prison. Next week I'm visiting probably 15 people in prison. Out home there, when we bury people, often we're burying them because of drug use. And I just get bloody sick and tired of having to deal with these issues in a negative way. And that $100,000 that we spend a year to lock people up for absolutely little purpose, I'd rather spend a fraction of that at the front end and keep them out of prison. So we need to actually intervene at the very earliest stage that people enter the justice system. And so we need to have the rehabilitation programs going on to stop people getting into prison, because, you know, as soon as they go through that prison door, it's almost a guarantee that they'll return one day. $100,000 per person per year in prison. I'd rather spend $10,000 intensively on an individual, and you'd probably only have to spend that $10,000 once. So that's my preference. In terms of decriminalisation, I was reading the stats around what's happened in the states. Oregon, Colorado, I think, Alaska and one other have decriminalised. The use of drugs hasn't gone up significantly. The use of alcohol, I think, has decreased a bit. So I don't think that if we decriminalise that we're just going to open up this huge Pandora's box and we're just going to have this massive problem. I think things will just carry on steadily. But like Ross was saying, we're not going to end up the consequences aren't going to be worse for people down the line. So if you're a 19-year-old with a drug, you know, conviction for possession or something like that, and then you go to university and you do well, and then you want to head overseas or whatever, and that conviction when you're 19 inhibits you, you know, that's harm down the track. So we've got to find other ways to support people, help them get over this this part of their lives. And people say, yeah, how are you going to afford it? Well, easily. Stop spending $100,000 a year on prison and start spending it at the front end. So I'll leave it there for now. Kia ora.